Good evening, everybody. It's Javier, and I'm super excited to be with you here today to share some really great news as it relates to the annuity product I'm going to discuss with you. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and launch the PowerPoint itself because I want to keep myself moving at a very brisk pace. I'm out of the country, so I can't really take too long. So I'm going to go ahead and do this in a very short amount of time. So forgive me for going so quickly through this. But if anything here you need to reinforce, is being recorded and it will be made available on our YouTube channel as well. So let's get right into it right now. Remember, we do have this training every single Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so I encourage everybody to plug in. Also, if you haven't done so, if you're in, you know what Slack is, it's a collaboration tool. Go ahead and just scan this code to become part of our Slack team. A lot of the stuff that we're posting is being placed there. For instance, right now we're looking for presenters that are interested in being team-wide presenters because we have a shortage. We need two presenters for this coming Tuesday, and the only way we can really do that is by having a roster of qualified, certified people, and it's a great way for you to make a lot of money in the Tuesdays when you don't have a presentation yourself. So we want to help you do that. Scan this code and join our Slack team, and that's it. Also, we just launched today our 2024 Thanksgiving dinner donation program. I do believe that the more you give, the more you receive. I do believe that faith precedes the miracle, that whether you're making a little bit of money, no money, or a ton of money, I think that it's important to, gesture to the universe and to God and whatever you want to call it, that you're a person that places other people first. And what we're looking to do is feed as many families with small children in elementary schools as possible. It is official. The chief of police signed off on assigning officers to us to be present at our upcoming Thanksgiving dinner donations. So we're not going to have to just call in favors and hopefully an officer can swing by and then we'll get a radio call. It is official. The chief signed off on it, so they're going to assign officers to be at our giveaways. We're going to do this on November 21st, and we are going to make sure that again we have you just shine in front of everybody present. The social media people for LAUSD is going to be there. The social media people from the police department are going to be there. It's going to be a big event. I'm telling you right now. And so just mark your calendars for Thursday, November 21st. That's the last Thursday before that Friday, which is when the LAUSD breaks for the Thanksgiving uh, break. So just make sure that you go ahead and scan this code or simply visit leadbygiving.com to donate. Thank you so much. Also, what I want to get right into it is the annuity flow chart. One of the first things that I ask people when somebody calls me and says, "Hey, I'm trying to get into this annuity game. I just have no clue what the hell I'm doing." No big deal. We all start somewhere. What I'm going to do today is give you my version of training because I'm not looking to turn anybody into an expert. I just want to get you to become productive, that you do the right thing for teachers, and that you get paid like what I believe you deserve to get paid. And so the way I look at it is remember, 403Bs are cool because every teacher out there is preconditioned, programmed to get a 403B as quickly as possible or as early as possible in their career. And so here's the way it flows as I understand it. And again, I'm not the expert here, but I have done, I'm actually working on a $250,000 one right now. And this is the way we do it. So the first thing we do is we look at the person's age. The reason that's important is because some policies or annuities are only issued between certain ages. And so if you tell me, look, listen, I want to get this teacher the annuity you told me about, but I ask you, how old is the person? Well, I don't know. But you got to find out. And I'm going to show you how that affects a potential annuity right now. Then the next question we got to ask ourselves is this a qualified or non-qualified annuity? Very, very important because some are qualified only, some are non-qualified only. And thankfully, most of the ones that we work with are both, but we need to make sure we check off the right box so that we don't trigger a taxable event because we were negligent on our part. And so the example that I'm sharing with you here today, this is a teacher. So if it's a teacher with a 403B that they've already had for a while, then the answer to that is that it's going to be qualified. All 403Bs are qualified. And so we got to make sure that the annuity that we're considering accepts qualified money. So now we go here, we went here. Now it met the qualified. So now I got to make sure that the annuity I'm going to consider accepts qualified money. Some do not. Very embarrassing when you got to go back to a teacher and tell them that, you know what, I screwed up. I got you the wrong product and I'm going to get you in trouble or something like that. So Qualified? Perfect. Admit that. Now, the second and the last thing is going to be the following. Is this annuity going to have flow or is it not going to have flow? Super important. What that simply means is that let's just say you have a 50-year-old teacher that's going to go ahead and do a direct transfer, not to be considered with the rollover. A rollover is when we're taking it from the program in which where it lives and we're taking it to another, either IRA or another broker or something like that. When we're talking with teachers and they have an existing old Bright House 43B, and we're going to bring it to NLG. We're not going to roll it over, so don't call it that. You want to make sure you call it what it is, which is it's in service transfer. That's what it is. And so that means it's staying within the compound of the 403 program with LAUSD. And so having said that, the scenario that I have is a teacher that's 48 years old that has about 250,000 in a 403B that she's had for 20 years. And she doesn't like it because she saw my presentation and she literally related to when I said that two or three things speak to you, and I'm sure they do. She said that she's a very conservative person, but they put her into a variable annuity and that she was in the Wall Street casinos, what she told me. And so I go, well, so let me get this straight. You're a conservative person, but you're in the Wall Street casino. Yeah, we need to help you out. And so what she would like to do is two things. A, she wants to get that out of the Wall Street casino and into something safe. And then the money that she was putting into the 403B redirected somewhere else where she can get even more bang for her buck. And that's more than likely going to be an IUL, even though I'm not going into the IUL with her right now because that will be information overload for her. And so let's just take care of one thing at a time. So having said that, one thing I know for a fact right now is that this new potential annuity it's not going to have any flow. So it's going to be no flow. So that basically narrows it down to what I'm looking for. I'm looking for annuity that can fit a 48-year-old that has qualified money that is no flow. So that makes it a single premium annuity, SPA. What that means is that we're going to bring a chunk of money into this annuity and no new money behind it. That's very important because if I bring her to a product that is a single premium, no flow product, and she says, wait a minute, Javier, I want to keep putting the $350 I was putting into it. I want to keep saving it into my 403B. And then I got to look at her and basically say, oh, I'm sorry, but the product that we just dropped you into doesn't accept flow. And that would not be a good thing. And it has happened. So you want to make sure flow versus no flow. And sometimes you're going to be the expert in directing them. That I'll show you how why this teacher, she's going to direct not the 350 she was putting into her 403B, she's going to redirect just 300 into an IUL and create a $250,000 immediate asset in the form of a permanent life insurance policy that she's going to be able to get out a good chunk of her money if she doesn't need the money or income and so on. So I'm not going to get into the IUL. I'm going to get into the annuity. And so once we got here, the product of choice is what I'm going to talk to you about here tonight, which is the National Life Group Income Driver 710. And the reason it's called this Income Driver 710 is because there's two versions of it, a 7-year surrender charge period and a 10-year surrender charge period. Now, keep in mind and remember one thing, please. Up in California passed a law a couple of years ago, not too long ago, by the way, that made it illegal for any life insurance company to sell an annuity with a surrender charge period beyond 10 years. Now, before that law passed, which I think was a great thing for the client, before that, I did tons and tons of annuities with American Equity, and they had the 16-year bonus gold. That's a long time. And so 10 is very fair. And so that's why I went with the Income Driver 10 because there's bonuses for the client if you go with a 10-year surrender charge period versus an actual 7. So here's the first rule when you consider an annuity. You need to get your hands on the brochures. You need to get your hands on the actual material, the official material from the insurance companies, because what you want are two things. You want the public facing materials, which is going to show you how to sell. And you also want the agent facing material, which is going to give you the ins and outs that you don't want to bore your client with. And this is what it looks like. And so my recommendation is to always have a few uh, NLG provided shiny, glossy brochures. There is great power in telling somebody, Mr. and Mrs. Teacher, everything I'm going to explain to you here today comes directly from the brochures that I'm going to leave with you. So don't worry too much about taking notes because everything I'm going to show you, I'm going to leave with you, and I'm not going to ask you to make any type of decision right now. And immediately you'll see them go, okay, that works. So relax. And once you do that, it's on. Now, what I'm going to show you are three things, and I'm going to give you access to these three things as well. Well, the first thing I'm going to show you is what I call the longer brochure. This is going to be the one that we leave behind, but I don't use it to explain or to sell to a client. It's a little too long, but it's got a lot of good information. Right out of the gate, one thing you need to learn how to talk when you are selling in annuities is upgrade. Mr. Hatter said it best last time. You need to upgrade. So every third word out of my mouth was one of the things we're going to be able to do is upgrade the outdated annuity that you have right now that has you in the Wall Street casino with something that's going to give you not just peace of mind, predictable income, but overall more bang for your buck. And let me show you what I'm talking about. With this product that I'm going to talk to you about, it's called the Income Driver 10. What's really nice about this is that, first of all, it stays within the LAUSD. It stays within your current third-party administrator. So nothing changes. And so you're going to be in the same exact spot that you are right now. That sets them at ease that you're not going to take the money and fly off somewhere. Now, the second thing I want to show you here is, as you can see here, this comes with a 25% benefit calculation bonus. So what this means is that the number that's going to be determined to show you your magic number of lifetime income, you're going to get a 25% bonus the moment they accept you into this plan. And so right out of the gate, you're looking a lot prettier than you were with the previous company. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it right now, and I'm going to just go over what I call power phrases. Power phrases that you need to highlight. Don't read the damn thing to them. It's too long. It's too boring. That's why I just told you I don't like this brochure to present to them. I want to learn from it, but this is not the one I'm going to use to present to them. And so it's going to talk to you about predictable guaranteed lifetime income. This is very important right here. If I show them anything in this brochure, it's this page and this page alone. Because in a nutshell, Mr. Principal, Mrs. Teacher, whoever I'm talking to, the three main benefits you're going to receive is, number one, we're going to go ahead and protect your money. We are going to literally get you out of the Wall Street casino, just like you said you're in right now, and we're going to put you at something that's a lot safer. The second thing we're going to be able to do for you is we're going to go ahead and show you how we're going to grow your money. So just because you're going to go into a much safer option, it does not mean that you are not going to grow your money. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you how it's going to grow by 25% as it relates to calculating your income from day one. And then lastly, remember what we said during the presentation? You told me that what intrigued you the most was when I said, would you rather have one stream of lifetime income or two? We want to help you go from limited time income, meaning that $250,000 that you have right now, you can take $25,000 out every single year to offset or reduce your actual income gap. But in about 10 years, give or take, the money's gone. And if the market tanks somewhere between those 10 years, then it's going to go even faster. I'm going to show you a way that we can take this limited time income and convert it into a stream of lifetime income that you can never, ever outlive. What do you think of that? I mean, that's incredible. That's why I wanted to meet with you. Well, that's what I'm going to show you right now. Now, I'm just showing you guys this because you're going to learn the stories or two stories to tell as to how to present this as well. Here's Connie. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but it's going to tell you how basically Connie is going to opt in and pay for GLEAR or Guaranteed Lifetime Income Rider. So Connie, I'll read what the hell? I'll read it to you. It goes here. Connie wants the maximum, that's the key word, predictable guaranteed lifetime income. possible between the two Glear options. To get the benefit calculation bonus, she is willing to pay an annual fee. And in this example, it's going to be 1%, of course, that she purchases an income driver 10 annuity with the standard Glear. And here's how the Glear will. And then, so, anyways, in the nutshell, it's going to give her $28,000 a year in income. That's $28,000 guaranteed for the rest of her life. Now, one thing I sell my clients on is this. Understand that the standard variable or variable annuity has anywhere between 3 to 4, sometimes even 5% in fees. The option I'm going to show you right now has zero fees, nothing, literally no fees. The only potential fee is a fee that you ask for by name. When you tell me, Javier, you know what? I want that enhanced version, and I'm willing to pay 1% a year. Now, it's simple math. If you pay 1% a year from your $250,000, and that $250,000, that's $2,500 a year. But if that's going to give you 5,000, 8,000 more a year for the rest of your life, it's worth it. Simple math. And if the number don't make sense, they don't make sense to take the free one. I'll be the very first to recommend what I think you should do based on what you want to achieve, if you would. And so that's it. And so this is something you need to understand to illustrate, because what I want to make sure you understand and you don't get wrong is that when it comes to annuities, there are two numbers involved here. One of them, and again, I'm just oversimplifying it. One of them is a fake number, meaning that you're going to see a big balance number that we're going to give them a bonus on 25%, blah, blah, blah. That's not their money. That's monopoly money. That only affects them when they activate the guaranteed lifetime rider. That's the only time that real big number is going to come into play, which is why they're doing this. So the other number is their actual balance. And I'll give you the technical name in just 1 second. So there's two numbers at play. I can't tell you how proud I was of myself about 12 years ago when I rolled over $500,000 for a widow. And she was older. She was in her late 70s. But I'll never forget when she called me to activate her Glear. And she said, Javier, I'm ready to do what you said. Flip the switch. I know my calculation is going to be based off the fake number, which is the big number, which is what I want, because I'm not going to take the smaller number because I don't want to cash it out. I mean, she remembered everything I explained to her. And so that's what I need you to understand. I'm going to show you an illustration in just 1 second. So this goes on. Double your income when you need your money the most. Here's another great thing about this. God forbid life happens to you. Literally, if you come down, and you guys should know this from the living benefits, but with income doubler, your income can be doubled for up to 5 years if your policy has been enforced for 2 years. It's called an elimination period of 2 years, and you cannot perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living. They would literally double the income that they receive every single month or every year, depending on how they chose to have the income. So in this example, this lady's going to receive $28,000 because she's got the higher Glear. Well, guess what? Now she gets $56,000 during this period right here, which is simply incredible. And so, anyways, retirement savings can grow. And then it shows different things that you need to know: participation rate, how that works, the caps, and of course, this you really do have to know. And then, of course, how the cash grows, which I'm going to show you here in just 1 second. Monthly sum cap method. Now, this is very important because we're going to be talking about strategies, point to point, and so on when I run the illustration in just 1 second. So you can have the rate booster. You're still going to have tax deferred, because just like you've had your 403B all this time and you haven't paid taxes on the growth, it's going to continue to be protected from taxation. And not only that, but it's going to be tax deferred. So that means you're going to earn interest on money, interest, if you would, that you would have paid taxes on in any other vehicle as well. You're never going to lose any money. Look what has happened in the past. I was telling this teacher, do you know what happened today to the stock market? She goes, no, stock market dropped 160 points. Why? Because Iran decided to bomb Israel. Iran decided to bomb Israel. So something happening over there affected your variable annuity here, which is simply incredible. And so on and on and on. This is how much money they're going to be. We will know how much money they're going to receive on an annual basis based on their balance, based on what year the policy is in, and so on. But let me just get to the part that I want to show you, which I think is the more important ones. And this is it. This is the brochure I love. This is a 2-pager. That's it, 2-pager. And what you'll see in this one, all the bullet points you need to know. We're going to help you jumpstart because we're going to give you a 25% benefit base bonus with the Glear starting on day one. So we're going to bump up that big number by 25%. On top of that, you're still going to be able to build your income with the 10% simple annual roll up every single year. This is on the big number, the important number, the number that the payout is going to be used to be calculated. And then, of course, we're going to kick off your income with a 6.15 withdrawal rate at age 70. If you waited till then, you go anywhere else, they'll tell you take out 3% is the 3% is the old 4% now, meaning you shouldn't be taking out more than 3% of the money. We're going to take 6.15. And no matter what age you choose, you're going to come out ahead. And of course, this is going to let you live and retire with dignity and on your terms because this is lifetime income is going to parallel your pension. So let me ask you a stupid question. Would you rather have one stream of lifetime income or two? That's all we're talking about. Would you be interested in converting a limited time income into a lifetime income? That's exactly what we're doing here. And this just shows up. This just shows the payout and plus the bonus on the bottom. If you come down with one of those things where you cannot perform two of the six activities of daily living. And then the second one that I love to have with me, I don't do both. I don't do all three. I have them all with me. I lead them all, but I only choose one. You do not want to give them information overload. So this is the one that's also very important because the bullet points are right here. You got the upside potential. So when the market goes up, you're still going to go up. But when the market goes down, you're protected against any loss, period, regardless of what happens with the stock market. It's still tax deferred. You still have the protection. But most importantly, you have that second stream of lifetime income that's guaranteed that you can never, ever outlive. That's how powerful this is going to be. And then, of course, this is for you guys to know. Super important. You got to know the issue age. They got to be between 45 and 85. I had one person this week try to say, hey, I'm getting an error. I'm getting an error. Well, how old is this person? Oh, it's 34. What's not going to work, man? It won't, the illustration will never, you'll never get past it unless you lie, but then you can't lie on the application. So the point of it is that this, now it does hold a lot of money because depending on the rate from 45 to 70, it's $2 million. I'm not going to blow it, but and say who it is, but somebody on our team just wrapped one up for 600 and something thousand. I mean, they're out there. If you can bring the value to people, your income will dramatically increase, literally explode by you learning. Right now, you're receiving more formal training than 95% of the life insurance agents out there, just so you know. 95%. So you need to go out there and put them into use. What I want to do is I'm going to show you an actual illustration to show you how simple it is. One of the jobs of a trainer, a good leader, is to demystify the process. People are out there saying, don't show them this, man. I want to be the top dog. I want to be the one that everybody comes to for all their annuities. And no, we don't want to do that. Every single person on this webinar right now and watching the recording, and if you're watching the recording, make sure you like the video, please. Every single person right now can do this. So what this is, if you scan it, it's going to give you the NLG Income Driver app pack. So what that means is that you're going to get all three brochures that I showed you and the California application packet so that you understand what you're going to need to ask when you meet with them. The teacher that I was with had a question. All right, let's get this going. My answer was, I'm not going to take your application yet because when I first spoke with you, your husband was on the webinar and I want to meet with him as well via the webinar before I take your application. And I really want to do that because my business stays on the books. I've never had an issue. As a matter of fact, I met with this lady and they were so impressed with how we were just not selling anything that Irene just called me and said, hey, we got another appointment from a teacher who was ghosting her. And the reason that this second teacher was ghosting her called her to schedule an appointment because the teacher with the $250,000 walked into her classroom and said, you need to meet with these people. You need to meet with these people. And that's how powerful what I'm teaching you can be. So let me show you how to run a basic with the emphasis on basic. And if anybody here starts asking stupid questions, what if, I'll just boot you out the webinar. Because listen, most of what people fear never comes into reality, never becomes to fruition. So knock it off. Okay, knock it off. So let me just go ahead and log in. booted me out. And so what I'm going to do is put this in here. Nobody write it down, please. Three. All right. And so I'm gonna show you, and this is not a race, but I just want to show you the simplicity. I'm meeting with uh, Joe Smith, the principal. Perfect. Always customize. I saw one agent do this the other day, and I told him, don't do that. That's really dumb. When you're in an illustration, it is critical that you put their name in there. Stop leaving the value time crap in there. Oh, because you're in a hurry. Well, get better at it and don't do that. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to click on illustration, which you saw me do. I'm going to click on new illustration on the upper left-hand corner. California, Index Universal Life. I'm going to switch that to a single premium deferred annuity, but I want index, not fixed. Indexed annuity. And then there are the ones that we work with. I'm talking to you about the Income Driver 7 and 10, which I'll show you the option right now, 7 and 10. And there it is. Always, always customize it to their name. So this is Joe Smith, whatever the name is. Let's just change her. Let's just use woman power today. Okay, so this is Jane. Okay, now Jane is female, and she is going to be at least 45. So let's just say we'll use my class 48. Perfect. This is the first section. Now, if you notice on the upper left-hand corner, the next one is funding and withdrawals. Now, I think you would agree that the first tab was pretty easy. Was it? Would you guys say it's pretty simple? Because we're halfway done. We're literally halfway done. Let's go to the funding and withdrawals. Not the stuff on the right, just the one on the left. Funding and withdrawals. Brings us here. And so what we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead and select the product, which is already there. What is the single premium? It's telling you it's a single premium, no float. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put $250,000. That's going to be within the range of the minimum, maximum. That's good. Now, what this refers to right here, DCA refers to dollar cost averaging. Don't put nothing in there. All that simply means that if I give them the 250 in one shot, they're going to measure the growth of the market or the index from the day we put it in there to a year later. So it's going to be measured between January 1st and January 1st. Dollar cost averaging simply means this. We don't want to do that. We're going to say, no, I want to put in, let's just say, $25,000 a month for 10 months. So that's 250,000. So instead of dropping one chunk of a $250,000, we're dropping in 25,000 every month. Why? Because now instead of having one point-to-point period, we have 10. Because January is going to be compared to January, February to the next February, this next 25,000 from February from March to March, April to April. We're just spreading the risk because God forbid the damn thing funds the day that Israel bombs or Iran bombs Israel and the market went to hell. Does that make sense? We don't want to do that. So you can do that. Because this is an index product. Don't overthink it. Leave it at zero. Now, the next thing we need to know is going to be this. Very simple. What strategy, I should say, do you want to use? The only one that I use, and again, this is just me. I'm not saying that it's the only way, the best way, but it works for me. And I just simply go 50%, and let me just get out of here. You can see it. Global balanced and US fundamental. So I'm doing 50% here. And this is the part where I hang up on people when they're like, well, I've been playing with it and I was looking at the historical rate. Like, just shut up. Okay. You don't even have an annuity going. So what are you talking about? So just shut up. We wouldn't do that. So keep it simple. 50, 50. Done. All we need to do now is come in here and determine, do we want to show them the free clear with no cost? The annuities have zero fees, zero cost. Or do we want to show them the one with 1%? Well, here's my suggestion to you. Always, always, always ask a client to choose between chocolate and vanilla. Never ask them, do you want to buy or not? Do you want to get the annuity or do you want to stay where you are and you've been comfortable for 20 freaking years, right? Do you want chocolate or do you want vanilla? So I'm going to say, I'm going to give you your two best options. Let's start with clear. Maybe it is worth it. Let's see what the difference is because we got to do the math real quick. She's going to pay 1%. 1% of $250,000 is 2,500. So if she's making more than $2,500 a year in income, it's worth it. If not, it's not. So that's it. So we do that. Always show income or distributions annual. The numbers look bigger and it's easier to assess. Always do that. And guess what? We're done. That was it. That's a whole secret of these people making millions of dollars. So what I'm going to do now, just like with an IUL, I'm
We
going to
got to
click on.
show the drop down, right?
Yeah, Javier, you got to put
You
I'm
got
sorry.
to you got to do the drop down
Okay, I'm so sorry. Which one are you talking about?
on the income.
withdrawal.
You got to
Oh
do the
yeah,
withdrawal.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Now
Keep
you
going.
got me lost.
Keep going down.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
Annual, go down again, and then type.
there you go. Thank you
Drop
so
down.
much. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Now this is very important though. Thank you for this. What I'm going to choose is not necessarily the annual, but what I'm going to choose is what calculation for income. Because you can show them GLEAR, which is what I'm going to show them, the guaranteed. Stick to the guaranteed. I can also show them the free withdrawal amount of how much they can take out free without incurring penalties. They can access up to 10%, or I could just tell them they want 50,000 a year, period. Regardless of taxes, regardless of whatever happens, they just want fit. We can do that. So always make sure you go with GLEAR, unless you have a specific 99.9 is going to be GLEAR, because that's what we want to do. That's the whole essence of one. Do you want one stream of lifetime income or two? Do you want to turn your limited time income to a lifetime income? But this is how it happens. And so that's it. So what I'm going to do here is just hit either the quick view, which is what I just did right now, and I'm going to look at this. And this shows me right here that starting at whatever age, I selected or I have here is going to be, now, don't worry about the age right now. I want to show you the difference in amounts because we're going to compare apples to apples with age. Forget the age. Here it shows 22,000 a year. So what that means is that they would get 22,000 a year every single year until the day they died. Now, remember what we asked, or I hope you guys are asking. Now, when you retire, what are you going to retire at percentage wise? 70%. Perfect. Let me ask you a question. What would you like to retire at? Well, 85. Perfect. Now, when I sit with them, like I told this teacher, I told her, ma'am, I've got good news and I've got great news. What would you like to hear first? Okay, give me the good news. The good news is you wanted to retire with 82%. You're going to get that. And what's the great news? We actually surpassed it and we're at 87%. How? Let me show you right here. And so now it's, do you want chocolate or do you want vanilla? And she's like, well, let's just do the application. Well, not yet, not yet, but we'll get there. And so the point here in this example, I'm showing you the principle, the concept. So forget the age, 22,000. If I just simply go back in here into the funding and withdrawals, and remember in 22, and I just changed it to no charge, no charge. 22,000, it's going to drop really likely to 20,000. Now we have to think about it for a second, because if this was the right age and everything was correct, now she's going to get under $2,000, but yes, she's paying 2,500 for that 1% fee. I would be like, you know what? At this point, it's a toss up between the two. It's really up to you, ma'am. Do you want chocolate or do you want vanilla? And if you can just shut the hell up, and the next person they're going to speak, guess what? They're going to, you know what I'm saying.
That's where I got in trouble. Cause
Listen,
yeah, that's where I
yes,
get in
listen,
trouble.
listen.
And she's
You
like, "Oh,
sit
it's only
there,
2,000."
you
Yeah,
listen. And at that point, and that's why I don't know if she's with me. I want to give kudos to Irene. Irene, are you on? I don't know if she's on, but
she is.
okay. Irene, are you on? Yes, she is. Okay. And when she was there, I just kind of lifted my hand up a little bit because I hadn't spoken to her and I forgot it was my fault for not telling her this part. But if you're with me, your job is to shut the hell up. Yeah, thank you, Irene. You did a great job because right at that point, when I was like, "Do you want chocolate or vanilla?" I forget what Irene, and I know what she was going to do. She was going to do the right thing. She was going to emphasize something, a benefit. You know what I'm saying? That's not the time for it. At that point, hold on. Yeah, let's do this. Perfect. It's a done deal. Sometimes people talk themselves out of a sale so quickly that I'm just telling them, listen, it's not that you have to learn what to say. You have to learn how to shut up. It's sometimes harder. And so when I said, look, listen, at this point, do you think you like the one with the glare or without it? Do you want to win big or win? Do you want chocolate or vanilla? It doesn't matter. And then if you shut up when you say that, when you ask, just shut up. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Go with the clear. Great decision. Let me go ahead and write it up. And then her last question. Do you remember what she asked? Her biggest, not she was getting caught up on it, but what was her biggest point at the end? What was it, Irene, if you remember?
Her biggest point, well, I mean, she was very grateful. There were some many points. I don't remember one in particular, but I know she was like very grateful for everything they gave her. She was like, "Wow, I never thought about all of these things." And to her. I remember the last. I don't.
Her
I don't
thing
remember
was her thing was, okay, how do we do the application? But then she said, but wait, question. I'm like, what is it? How much for you? I'm like, what do you mean?
Oh yeah.
She's like, she's like,
Yeah.
appreciate everything you guys are doing, but how much
Yeah.
am I going to pay you? I mean, what's your fee that I'm going to pay? I go, the answer, there is an answer to that as well. It's $1 million, my advice, right? But because we like you so much, we're going to waive it. And the answer is, of course, nothing. Nothing. And she was like, all right, well, how do we do the application? I'm like, well, no. I met with you and your husband via Zoom. This is only right if I meet with him again. So we're meeting with them this Saturday via Zoom, and it's a done deal.
Yeah.
My deals, I told Irene, my deals take longer because I told her they will be bird dogging for you. They will be your advocates. And then today, correct me if I'm wrong, Irene. What did you say that the lady that you was ghosting you? What did she say? What did she say? What did this?
She said, this, Moses came into my classroom and she said, I have to call you. She was about to sign the counselor, help me with her. And she said that, Moses told her, before you sign, talk to these people. They really helped me out. Yeah. She wheeled her in.
Yeah, she brought her in for us. And so listen to me, guys. One of the biggest mistakes our teammates are making is that they're going in there, they're getting a deal or two, and then moving on. There's so much power in doing good for people that they will become your advocates. I told her specifically, Irene, if we do this for her, she will be the one going to the teacher saying, you need to meet with them. And sure enough, exactly what she did. Now, she's not even the one that I did. We met with another one. I don't want to use her name, but we met with another teacher on Saturday. And what I told her, just as a way of saying thank you because you're been such a good sport and you give me all the information that I need, regardless of what you do. I wanted to go ahead and give you a Vegas vacation. She was with her husband, and they looked at each other like, now there's two catches. Number one, you got to pay for taxes, and number two, you got to get yourself there, but you can hit check up to 15. Ha ha ha! Everybody laughed, but we're meeting with her again. To basically write her up this week. And so again, going back to what I have to wrap it up now. This is how simple an illustration can be, or it is. I hope I demystified it, combining it with practical approach to how you present it. So you can have the right numbers, you can have the right product, you can have everything. But if you don't deliver it and close it and tie it up with a little pretty bow at the end and let them run with it, let them be your advocates, then you're going to be working harder for less. And that's not right. I want to help you change that as well. Any questions before we wrap it up? Again, this is being recorded. We're going to host it on our YouTube. I hope you get a chance to view it again. If you do that, please like the video. But lastly, questions from anybody about it. I got a text question that somebody was able to go ahead and do it. We are looking for presenters. We're coming up with the cadre of team-wide presenters, because right now we have 2 to 3 that we need for this coming Tuesday, and we have 4 more coming up that we are going to need help with. But we want to make sure it's people that know what the hell they're doing, that are closing business, not just to present, of course, but that you have a very high ratio between how many attendees you have and how many appointments are generated. You can take some leads, which I think you should, because they want to meet with the presenter. And so it's an all upside, but we need to make sure you know what the hell you're doing. So I'm going to be doing the auditions, if you would, before we sign off everybody for this new thing. Anything else from anybody? Questions, comments, concerns, anything?
Javier, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What is your YouTube channel?
You can go to FFS on YouTube.com and it'll take you there. FFS on YouTube.com. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. All right. I'm not going to make this longer than I have to, but don't want to rush it either. I want to see if anybody has any questions, thoughts. Uh, learn
do have a
the,
question here.
please, anything.
I'm so sorry. So what was happening with me, if you could help me out there, is that they were saying it was only like $1,000 or $2,000 short. So I was saying, do you want income until age 99, or do you want to deplete your whole, do it yourself and take the withdrawals yourself, and then once you run out? Is that the answer that I give them then?
I mean,
That they can probably possibly run out of
here's
money?
what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to stick to, and I'm not going to give you the whole answer right now, but what I will follow up with you, just so you know, on a one-on-one basis, is once we start to go down the technical rabbit hole, if you would, it's there because it becomes an intellectual type of conversation, and teachers are intellects. They have to know more than anybody in their classroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I stay away from that. And so I
Like
keep
I'm
it very
selling them,
simple.
but I'm selling them without the
Yeah,
glare, and
yeah,
it's just, ugh.
yes. But the problem with that is that remember what I said earlier. We want to close it with, do you want chocolate or vanilla?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't want them to, because let me tell you something. If we get them, if we're asking them to make the right, smart financial decision, they wouldn't be where they are for most of them. You know what I mean?
That's good. Yeah.
They wouldn't be where they are. I had a heartbreaking meeting right now with Irene and another person that's 59, no 403B. She's getting 60. Well, it's actually less. She thought she was getting 60%. She's actually getting like $900 because she's CalPERS. And she wants to go to 100%. She's 59 and she wants to go to 100%, but no 403B. And her budget is how much, Irene? I forget what it was, like $200 or whatever. And
200 a month, 200 a month, yeah,
200 a month. I mean, now, just so you know, we still took her to CalPERS. In her 20 plus 24, 25 years that she's been with the district, yet never even registered for CalPERS. We did it for her, with her. I did it for her. I went to her annual report. I downloaded it. I emailed her, even though I know, she's not in a good position. She's just out of time. But I still think it's the right thing to do for somebody that, you know, I showed her how to do something. And I go, please understand 60% of teachers don't even have a named beneficiary. That if you don't have it, blah, blah, blah. We went in there finally and it said beneficiary, none declared. None. So if we just leave her where she's at and just fix that beneficiary issue, we would leave her a lot better than we found her. But of course, we're going to try to see what we can do. But I told her, I told Irene, you gotta learn to control your own expectations. And for her, and plus she has health challenges. Plus she has this. Plus she's very overweight. I mean, just we didn't put her in that position, so I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. And we just got to go on and get to the other people that are in a much better position. Um,
On
and we
the
do that
PERS,
with
I just
dignity.
had my first one. Is there the place where they have the supplement for PERS? Because I couldn't find that this time. Do they have a
No,
supplemental account?
they don't have a supplemental, and
Okay,
not in the
thank you.
traditional sense because they don't have the stuff that they know. It's just a simple statement, just so you know.
Okay,
And
yeah, I just went on there the first time this week, and I was like, oh, and I
just
got
so you
nervous
guys
because I was
know,
looking for the supplement.
just so you guys know, next Thursday. Oh shoot, no, not next Thursday because I'm gonna be. No, I'm still gonna be here. Next Thursday, I'm gonna show you. I just can't do it now because we gotta edit out her name and everything. I'm gonna show you a 2024 CalPERS to break it down so that when you know what the hell you're doing and what you're reading with them. We neglect CalPERS people all the time, and there's literally thousands upon thousands of them begging for somebody like you to meet with them. And when you learn how to do it, what I'm going to show you next Thursday, you're going to shine. All right. And I'm still going to
Thank
get with
you.
you, Rochelle.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
Perfect. All right. Well, if no one has anything else, I just want to say thank you for all that you do. Again, I can't tell you how proud I am of everybody. We're firing on all cylinders. We are hitting almost $1 million a week in annuities. But with training, like I hope this is practical training. I really do, because I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to take your time. I'm actually in Mexico City, scrambling, trying to find a damn place. They're shooting goddamn fireworks outside. I don't know what the hell they're celebrating. They're always celebrating some stupid thing here, all hours of the day and night. So I had to run around and move around, trying to find a quiet place. So I just hope that it's something that's practical for you, because, like I said, it could very easy for me to just shut it off. I'm out of town, but that's not my style. I want to empower as many people, make a bunch of a difference in our clients' lives. And in the process, you get to go from where you are to where you deserve to be, and all of it because we're all working together. All right. All right, everybody. thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful one. I'm going to be back in town. I'm available, just so you know, webinars, phone calls, text, the whole 9 yards. And I'm going to be physically in town on Saturday night. And then I'm going to run from Sunday until the following Sunday when we leave for Japan. And then after that, we go to Korea. But I'm going to only be available in the late hours of the day, which is their morning, I think, or something. I don't know what the hell they told me, something like that. So don't take a chance. And if you got something pending with me, just do it before Japan, because I'm probably going to just ignore you. I'll be honest with you. When I'm over there, I'm not going to be getting up at 3 in the morning just because I want to talk to Red or it needs to talk to me or whatever. I like the guy, but not that much at 3 a.m. And we'll just take it from there. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Love what you all do, and I love you. And thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. All right. Bye bye.